wind off, and then I set my bow. Now there's going to be lots of siren practicing in this part. So I go from A to a D. Make sure to use your arm back and forth. When you shift back to third position, the way I teach it, one way to teach it for me is, when I'm in third position, I actually teach that you touch the violin so you have a base of where you're going. Some people will shift back like this. That is great. If you can do that, oh my goodness, great. But I can't get it in very well in tune when I do it that way. Sometimes I will play that way if I'm vibratoing and other things, but when I'm shifting, I always make sure this is touching the violin, so I know exactly where I am and I can nail it in tune. All right, so the that was when you shift back, make sure your hand is touching the violin. Okay, now I'm doing this a lot faster than it would be, so practice them a lot. Slow, medium, fast. Now we're going to add in the other notes around it. So start from the run. A crazy weird stretch there. So we need to practice going. Go backwards. When you do that, keep your fingers down. So if you can't reach that very well, it's because your arm isn't up high enough. So make sure you've shifted high. So you have. So if you've only shifted to here, when you go to reach that, you'll totally be out of tune, which will not be good. So. When you do the run, aim for the high A in your in the phrasing. So I always do a teeny bit of an accent or a bump on it. There's that portato again. And then, so I'm going to practice that shift from, if I were talking to you live, I'd say, okay, what notes do you need to do for the siren? And you'd go, oh, let's see. Miss Martha, you would say, from the E to the A. And I'd be like, good job. So from the E. And make sure you do the arm. And get it in tune. Okay, now let's keep going. Start back from the beginning there. Shift. Now this grace note, super fast, but make sure you don't play it so fast I can't hear it. So. So I do a little bow accent. Dig in a little bit there, so. Okay, let's keep going. And on here, I accent the beginning of each beat. Not bad. Okay, so this is a run, goes for 2 measures. Longest run we've had so far. So I would do different rhythms. Or whatever rhythm will help you. Okay, but make sure you don't skip a note or anything like that. It's always the same. Get the right order of the notes is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so do it nice and slow. If you can play it backwards, even better. And then work it backwards and then work it forwards. Okay, so then you get to this measure of 2 super triplets. Most everyone plays these completely the wrong way, but we're going to try to see if we can get it just right. So we have dum, bum, 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 bum. So we have to play 6 notes over 4 beats. A bit confusing, but I'll play it for you. Hopefully we'll get it right. So we have. So it's weird because it's not your normal quarter note length. They're a little bit shorter in order to fit it in for 4 quarter notes. All right, so let's start back at measure 66. Pick up to 66. It's kind of fun to do. And make sure it's not completely legato. It has accents and a bit of staccato, more portato-ish that we've been doing before. All right, now let's move on to the next run. We have measure 69. Okay, so the phrasing goes all those 16th notes to the quarter note. So make sure you think of that crescendo to the quarter note. So, and use a full bow on that quarter note. Again. Next one. Okay, so I've played this a lot, so I can do those shifts a little better. Make sure you go and do the Siren Practice for each one of these. So we have this one. So your Siren Practice would be from A in 3rd position, a 1, to the F sharp 1. I mean C sharp 1. Like that. Tons of times and tons of times so you can't get it wrong. And then you have another shift. So I want you to do the Siren Practice from C sharp to E. So C sharp first finger to the E first finger. Make sure you do your arm, not just your finger. Tons of times, medium, slow, fast. So then you add in the middle note. So C sharp, D, E. And then, okay, so let's play that measure 70. Again. So you've been practicing all those shifts so great that when you slide up, it's like so smooth, just like ice or butter. Oh, just so smooth. So no one can even tell that you're shifting. You're just, it's awesome. Okay, let's start in measure 69. Good, so make sure you use a full bow on those quarter notes. Nice and accents and crescendo up to them. Okay, measure 71. You have 2 quarter notes and then a super triplet, so you have to work on that grace note. So let's start on 70 so you can get the idea of what it sounds like. So I actually played a little bit longer than your normal grace note. This is a personal preference of mine. Some people could play it faster. They could go, but I actually like to go. That's what I like. So depends on what your teacher likes. So we have, and there's an axe on it, every note. So make sure you really dig in. Next measure, 72. Save your bow, because if you go like this, you have 4 more notes. So you have to be save. And play it backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards so you can get it really good. Nice and clean hammer fingers. Now here's a nice shift that we need to do a practice. And I'm going to add in the high A now. Get it really good and in tune. Now what's cool is when you go backwards and forwards with the siren shifts, usually that you're like, why do I have to practice it backwards? I don't do that. But I guarantee you, it will, that shift that you're practicing backwards will probably come later on in the piece. And here's an example. In measure 73, you have been practicing the one before, forwards and backwards, and that's actually the shift that you're doing in 73. So bonus, right? It's pretty good. So make sure you do forwards and backwards, and it really, really helps. Let's start in measure 72. Two super triplets again, so we have 3 down bows in a row there. Super awesome to do. Make sure you don't overplay it and crunch it or have a weird sound. Nice, beautiful sound. Nice and big. Fills up the whole entire hall. All right, we have full bows. Just reach back. Don't shift. That could be hard intonation. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so we have the next part. Really fun, but there's some crazy hard shifts in this part. So we have... Okay, in your music, you might see a 2 and a 0 above it. What that means on the D is that you're going to play the fingered D in third position, second finger, on the G string. And you're going to play it with your open D. So you have a unison of Ds playing. That's what that means. So now we're going to shift up to an F natural. And guess what? It goes from here to up here. So what in the world are you going to do for an anchor note? That's super hard to figure out. So I'm going to teach you. I'm going to shift up on the G string where my 2 would be if I were playing that high F. So when I go up to the F, right there, if I put my fingers down and I put my 2 down, what note would the 2 be on? So I just go, oh, there's F. There's the 3, that's an E. Oh, a D. So, it's hard to show this. So what I do is I hop over the strings. What's that note? Well, if you don't know, you just kind of go, oh, there it is. It's an F. Okay, so what you're going to do with that double unison Ds, you're going to play that. Your Siren Practice goes up to an F. It's not very far away, actually. It's just a 3 notes. Okay, now why am I doing that? That seems weird, right? So I'm going to go. If I put my 4th finger down, now over in that E, I'll be in position. This is the purpose of this, is so I don't have to go and then shoot in the dark. This is so I know my hand knows exactly where to go. So this is what I think is good, important to practice on this part. Siren. So we are. Once you get that slow, medium, fast, then we're going to put in the high F. So we're going to go. Okay, now, if you skip to the next measure, if you'll notice, you play that unison D, and then you go to a G. So, do a Siren Practice from the D to a G. Because that'll put you in position for the G, which is great. All right, so and then the next one is actually just in the same position, so you don't have to do a siren practice on that. So let's start in measure 75. We have up bow, down, up, down bow, down, up. And then you're going to do a double down. Okay, so let's try that a little bit faster. We have start from measure 74. Okay, so now we need to do it at a somewhat tempo so that you get an idea of the exact rhythm. Okay, let's see if I can do this for you. 3, 4. Like that. That's how it goes. All right, let's finish this off. We're almost finished with the first page. Only 3 more measures. All right. So, measure 78, we have... That's a little tricky because you have an E natural, high 3, then to a B flat, which is a low 3. A lot of people miss that. So, make sure you pay attention that it is an E natural to a B flat. So, I would practice that over and over a few times. Once you get the hang of it, it's in your fingers really comfortably. I would move on. Backward. Okay, here comes a siren. We go from a 2 to a 2. Another siren from the D to the F. Okay, so let's start in 78. We have double down. And you reach really high. Some people play that a harmonic. I try not to, but if you feel like you're not going to get it in tune, then play a harmonic. I like to do a little vibrato, so I like to do a solid. All right, let's try from 78 again. be one of the hardest shifts, I think, for me. So what would be the siren practice for that? Well, I would probably do it with a 4. So it brings me back into position. So see how I do my get back in position before I actually play the note? Then I set my note. Okay, so let's finish it off. Really different notes. Make sure you get them in tune, not what you're expecting. Backwards. Let's keep going. B natural to a D. Okay, so before that B natural, you're playing an A flat with your first finger. So I would do my siren practice from an A flat to the D. So what I mean is like this. So I do the run, B natural, D. Keep that first finger down. Another siren practice from the D to the high F. Over and over and over. Don't go fast until you nail it. Slow and medium and stuff, okay? So I do the fingering at the top. 1, 3, 1, 3, 3. So, and you have to go to a C, which is a little higher, so sometimes I check. Sometimes I miss it, so that's all right. You have to do the same thing I do, like figure it out. All right, where is that note? So I do a siren practice from the A flat to the C. Super hard, super high, and it's squeaky, so you have to make sure your bow placement on the string is such that it's not crunchy or makes extra noises, but nice and beautiful. Now vibrato it. Nice full bow. Wow, okay, so let's try from measure 78. All right, so now let's play that whole section, starting from 63. idea how to approach the entire piece, this is how you practice. Slow, siren practicing, perfect intonation, bow technique, and sometimes, as you see, I still make mistakes and I have to go through and have to practice it over and over and over again. If you approach the song like this, slow, in tune, the very first time, it'll be easier for you in the long run. I know it's hard sometimes, but you can do it, okay? All right, pat yourself on the back because that was awesome. That was a long, hard video of the first page. You can do it. Please let me know if you have any questions. Be glad to answer them.